Welcome to Talking Black and Blue, where the rivalries run deep and every Sunday is a battle. I am your man, Will McCann, and along with my partner, Tellis Everett, we're a couple of fans from the heart of the Midwest, bringing you real talk and weekly breakdowns from the NFC North, the Black and Blue division. So whether you wear green and gold, Honolulu blue, purple and gold, or you rep the monsters of the Midway, you are in the right place. So lace up, strap in, and let's talk black and blue. Tell us, my man, what is up?
What's going on, Will McCann? Hey, friends and kinfolk, we appreciate you supporting the Black and Blue podcast. Tell your football friends how much fun we have over here. As you know, Will and I are real estate agents in the state of Michigan. If you know someone that's talking about buying, selling, or investing in the next 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years, just reach out to us and let us help you score a touchdown in real estate. Will McCann, let's get into this Super Bowl show.
It is time for the big game, right? We started way back in August, or actually late July, when teams went to training camp, right? All of those weeks and days and hours of practice. Then the games started in September. We got games every week through the playoffs, through the championship games, and here we are, the culmination of the season, the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl is the biggest, it is actually the most televised TV show every year. And I know it has been for like the last 40 years, right? The NFL is so popular in 2024. I haven't seen the 2025 numbers yet, but in 2024, 93 of the top 100 rated TV shows were NFL games.
Mhm.
That tells you that um, uh, Jacksonville versus Carolina gets better ratings than primetime shows on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right?
Right,
That's
right.
how big the NFL is, and that's why the NFL dominates almost every night in television. And we come to the ultimate game for them, the Super Bowl. Now, as you and I were talking last week, man, we started, kicked in and we were talking about Super Bowl. You came up with the idea, man, let's talk about some of our Super Bowl memories, right? So, yeah, we decided what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about our top three Super Bowl memories. We're just going to kind of kick that around a little bit and kind of reminisce about this great game, the Super Bowl, that it will be playing its 60th game. And like I said last week, this will be my 55th. So yeah, let's get it started. Tell me, what is your starting at the bottom of your list? At number three, what is your third favorite Super Bowl?
My third favorite Super Bowl moment is Super Bowl 51,
Mm.
where the Falcons, well, we can say the Falcons choked,
Y'all,
or
why you come on, man? Why you do my team like
or we can
why you
say
do the
the
dirty birds like that?
we can say the Falcons choked, or the Patriots had the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, right?
Can
Uh,
both be true? Can both be true?
both could be true. You can say it either way you want, but watching that game, man, I mean, the Falcons had like a 99% chance of winning that game at one
Mm,
point, right?
mm.
And like a 1 in
Yeah.
333 chance of losing. So for that to happen, it's a, for me, just, and I'm kind of a Tom Brady hater anyway.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Just watching that game and in disbelief, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
really? Really? Ah, I can't with this. But
Yeah.
it, I think for me, it was a seminal moment, and it might have been for a lot of football fans, where where you had to at least accept Tom Brady as a great quarterback,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes,
that's
yes.
yeah, that's one of those where it was just
That's an outstanding game, man. Of course, that brings back memories, man. Watch that game. My son is a huge Tom Brady fan because he's a huge Michigan fan, right? So he's all about Brady. So he actually had left the house to go with his friends and watch the game with his friends that day, even though he and I have watched, Super Bowls together a lot. He's hanging out with them, and the game is over as far as they're concerned, right?
Right,
So he
right.
comes back home. And I'm sitting in the basement watching. And as the comeback is happening, one of his friends called him. And he's like, I'm sitting in the basement with Pop watching the game, man. Brady is the GOAT. Brady is the GOAT. And as they continue to come back, he's just screaming it in the basement. Brady is the GOAT. Brady is the
Yeah,
GOAT.
yeah.
And I have a cousin who's a big 49ers fan. Shout out to Johnny Day down in Louisville. Uh, we were having a discussion on greatest quarterbacks ever. This would have been before that game happened, right? And
Right,
of course, he's all about Montana. And I was a big Montana guy. And I was saying after Brady won his fourth, man, I said, and I was the same as you. I wasn't a hater, but I was saying he's great, but he ain't Montana.
right.
After he won that fourth, I'm like, yeah, man, this dude is Montana. Okay. And my cousin was like, no, 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 he ain't, man. No, he ain't. He's lost Super Bowls. Montana never lost a Super Bowl. After that game, I hit him with a text. I said, is this discussion over now? Can we just stop having this discussion now?
Right, right,
So
right, right.
awesome, awesome, man. Yeah, my number three would be the very first Super Bowl I watched. It was Super Bowl six, the Cowboys versus the Dolphins. That game was January the 16th of 1972. Here we are, it'll be February the what? 9th when we play
Eighth.
this. It'll be the 8th when this game is played. And
Yeah.
that game was played on the 16th of January, almost at least it's easily 3 weeks earlier, right? That's what
Hmm.
the extended season has done, pushed this thing all the way back into February. Yeah,
Right.
Cowboys Dolphins. That one was significant for me, man. Like I said, it was the first Super Bowl I watched. I was only 7 years old, but
Mm.
I remember it because my dad and his brothers and his uncles were all big sports fans. So they were always around. Whenever there was a family gathering, there was a game on, or if there was a big game, we gathered to watch the game, and my dad always took me with him. But we were moving at the time. We were about to move further south in St. Louis. And my dad is packing the hotel. I remember the whole build up to the game, Roger Staubach and Bob Greasy doing all of these commercials. And my dad is he's packing, he's boxing up stuff, taping stuff. Then he'd sit down and watch some of the game. And he just kind of had me moving stuff with him. But I'm kind of watching the game as my dad is packing. That's why that one was significant for me. And the Cowboys crushed the Dolphins that day. And I became a Roger Staubach fan after that. That game was Cowboys 24, the Dolphins 3.
Yeah, that's a good game. That's a throwback right there.
And it was significant because the Dolphins lost that game, went on the next season to be undefeated, and then
Hmm.
the following season won the Super Bowl again. So they
Right,
still are
right.
the only team to play in three straight Super Bowls. So it was significant because of that also. So moving up to number two, let's talk about your second favorite Super Bowl memory.
So we just broke down my Tom Brady position, right? So this one is Super Bowl 42, the
Oh,
helmet catch by David Tyree.
oh,
So if you remember that game, it was 3rd and 5, right? 3rd and 5. The play was Eli was in the pocket. They had him in the grasp. Like
two people had him.
two people had him. Somehow he spun out of there.
Somehow one guy knocked the other guy off. Is really what
Right,
they both
right.
had him. They had him lined up, and one guy knocked the other guy off of him and got Eli free. Yes,
Exactly, exactly. And he spun and was able to get that ball off, and David Tyree catches that ball on his helmet over Rodney Harris. So
yes.
that set up the winning drive and gave Tom Brady one of those Super Bowl losses that you're talking about.
So you were loving that one, right?
I was loving that one. I was loving that one. But that's an amazing moment in Super Bowl history.
Yes, it is.
And
Yes, it is.
as quiet as we talk about these, and we have talked about we're going to have this debate about quarterbacks later on
Yeah, yeah,
in a later pod,
yeah.
but Eli quietly put together a decent career
You
where
know,
where
he's got
he's probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame based on a couple of plays.
he is going to get into the Hall of Fame before guys with a lot better numbers
Hmm.
overall, guys who won more games, guys who have higher winning percentages. He's going to get into the Hall of Fame before them because of, like you said, two big plays in
Yep.
the biggest game in the sport. He's going to get in because of that, yes.
Exactly, exactly. But
And that was one of them. And then even after that play, he still throws the touchdown pass
yeah,
to
yep,
Burris in the corner, right?
yep, the Plaxico.
Yeah. And, you
Exactly.
remember what was the score in that game? You remember?
It ended up being at the time that it was 14-10 when the play
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
The game ended 17-14.
17-14. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard Michael Strahan talk about that game, but he said that all week long, David Tyree didn't catch anything. He said he was just butterfingers all week long, hadn't caught a thing. And he
We,
said, as they are watching that, if you have seen the highlights, he stands on the sideline and tells the offense before they go on the field, one drive and we are world champions.
right,
One drive, fellas, and we are world champions. And he said he wasn't even sure he believed it when he said it. But
right, right.
as they're starting on the drive with the Eli play, with the near sack, he said he's because I'm thinking the same thing. Eli, you cannot get sacked. They have you. Throw it away. Throw it. Try to hit your check down. Throw it at the check down feet. You cannot get sacked in this situation. And Strahan said he's screaming, Eli, you can't get sacked. How did
Right.
he get out of that? And then he said he sees he's throwing it to Tyree and he goes, oh my God.
Another
And
odd
he comes
fact,
down with it in front of
yeah,
a Hall of Famer.
yeah. Another odd fact about that is that was David Tyree's last catch in the NFL.
Was it really?
Yes.
Nice, nice. But
So,
yeah, that is a great Super Bowl moment.
yeah.
Awesome.
What about you for your second one?
My second one would be Super Bowl 22. And that one happened January the 31st in 1988. That was Washington versus Denver. That
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
the John Elway Broncos team. John Elway, one of the great quarterbacks. You know, we talk
Yep.
about all-time greats. John Elway isn't in a class by himself, but whatever class that guy's in, it don't take long to call roll. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Uh, but Washington beat them that day 42-10. That was significant, man, because I was traveling. I was working and traveling at the time, and I happened to be in Chicago. And one of my favorite uncles, who's only like 8, 9 years older than me, so he was the cool uncle, right?
Okay.
I hung out with him and his friends as we watched the Super Bowl. It was significant because it was the first time a black quarterback had
Right.
started in the Super Bowl. Uh,
Yep.
they have press week, or I forget what they call it, a particular day where the players have to talk to the press and they
Hmm.
come up and you got media who's never covered sports before who are there because it's
Right.
a significant event asking questions. One of the craziest, and every year somebody asks a player, what's the craziest question you've been asked this week? The craziest one I ever heard was Doug Williams said somebody asked him how long had he been a black quarterback.
Been
But
black
yeah, he went
all
out.
my life.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. And Denver jumped
Oh
out to a
no.
10-0 lead in that game. And I remember one of my uncle's friends was all about, I'm telling you, Elway is that guy. Elway is that guy. And then in the second quarter starts, I think on the first play of the second quarter, 80-yard pass from Williams, and then four more in that quarter. Five more. Yeah, four more that quarter. Five touchdowns in the second quarter. It's 35-10 at halftime. Game over.
Yeah.
Washington just runs the ball in the second half and runs out the clock. So the first time a black quarterback plays in the Super Bowl, he ends up winning the game. So that's
How
why
did
that
he?
was significant
I
for
want to
me.
know, how did he answer that question? Did he say you didn't watch
He
me
never
play? You
said
didn't watch me play
right.
at Grambling?
Right. He never said what he answered, man, but that was crazy. All right, then we hit the top of the list. Tell me your number one Super Bowl memory.
My number one Super Bowl memory. This is Super Bowl 49,
Mm,
Seattle versus the
mm.
Patriots. And for whatever reason, Pete Carroll and Darrell Bevel on second down lined up in shotgun with Marshawn Lynch in the back. Come on second down. All you had to do to win this game was run this ball 3 times straight because you were on the 1 yard line, but you decided to pass. Thus,
And
thus giving Tom Brady another championship that well, I'm not going to go too far.
I knew you were gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say I knew you were gonna
I'm
you
gonna
didn't
just leave it
say it,
there.
but you thought it, right?
Yep, yep. But hey, you know
I'm
what I'm
gonna finish
saying?
it for you. You're thinking Brady didn't deserve that.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. All you had to do was turn around and give that ball to Marshawn 3 times in a row. He would have got in one of the 3 times.
If worst case, if you're going to pass the ball in that situation, line up in a running formation.
Right.
Like you said, you're not fooling anybody
You're
with
not
a
fooling
pass out
anybody.
of the shotgun.
Yep.
You're not fooling anybody with that. Yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I was hurt.
Brady will tell you, okay, I'll take that I didn't deserve that one. If you'll take back that that was a miracle that we didn't get our undefeated season with David Tyree. Those canceled.
They cancel each other. Oh
But yeah,
man.
that was an awesome moment, man. I'll never forget that one either. It's interesting that all three of yours involved the New England Patriots
Yeah. Yeah,
as
yeah.
we as we head toward this Super Bowl. I noticed the one you didn't mention was when they got dog walked by the Chicago Bears. You didn't mention that Patriots.
We had to keep it to three, right?
Yeah.
We had to keep it to three.
And that
I
wasn't
could
Brady. Brady didn't quarterback that team.
I could I mean, both of us could probably rattle off 10 different Super
Exactly,
Bowls.
right,
And we talked
right.
about it last week. My second team is the Steelers, so any of those I could have went to.
Any number of those, right?
You talked about John Elway.
Yeah,
Their
yeah,
championship was
yeah,
amazing.
yes,
And then San Francisco and what Montana and Young and so I mean there's a ton of different I mean we're talking 60 years of Super Bowls, right? So it's
exactly.
like
60 years of the biggest game and the biggest sport in
right,
America. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. And some of
So,
those and we kept it to the actual plays, but we could have done halftime moments too.
uh, we could have done halftime. We could have done commercials. Yeah.
Exactly.
We could have done a whole week's worth of shows on just the Super Bowl, right?
Exactly, exactly. So what's your top one?
My top one, man, it's interesting that you mentioned Super Bowl 42. You mentioned 49 also, right? That was,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this one for me was number 43, and
Okay.
that was Pittsburgh versus the Cardinals. And that was Pittsburgh 27, Cardinals 23, man. I'll never forget that game because my son was 13 at the time. A buddy of mine came by and scooped us up and took us to their church where their men's group was gathering to watch Super Bowl, right?
Nice.
And it's in the basement of their church. You know, they got big, huge screen TV, bunch of guys. We're all fellowship and chatting. The food was actually good for it to be have been catered, right? You know what? That's usually hit or miss, right? With the food's good, man, we're fellowshipping, we're having a good time, and the Cardinals are driving to score. at the end of the first half, and James Harrison picks off the ball at the end zone. I've never heard a roar like that in my life as the entire room, and it's probably 50 men in this room, all roaring as he's working his way down the sidelines with the big blocks and the missed tackles, and it's oh, oh, and just to hear, just about everybody in the room was hoarse the entire second half from that moment. All the Steelers fans, all the Cardinal fans, everybody's, tackle, tackle. It's like, oh, he got away, got away. And for him to score on that play, man, one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history.
Definitely.
And the game comes down to the end. And they end up, Roethlisberger, I forgot the name of the receiver, his name eludes me, but he ends up throwing a touchdown pass in the corner of the end zone to win the game, right? So they
Hmm.
end up with a big touchdown at the end of the first half, and then the game winning drive at the end of the game to win. Just a great game, man. A game that Larry Fitzgerald was killing the Steelers that day.
Right.
But the Steelers end up pulling it out at the end.
I see what you did there.
What's that?
You put a notch in there for Roethlisberger as a lead.
When I wrote that game down, I knew you were gonna say had to
Not
get
slick.
Roethlisberger in there, didn't you?
Yep, yep. I see what you did. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right.
All right, man. That takes care of our Super Bowl memories, man. Let's move on to Super Bowl 60. The Seattle, I almost called them the Mariners, the Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. A repeat of one of your Super Bowl memories, right?
That's
This
right.
is the same two teams
Same two
taking place.
teams.
Tell me how you see this game playing out.
Well, the key to the game, and this is just football 101, is making sure you take care of the ball, right? The the Patriots need to take care of the ball more so than Seattle because I feel like Seattle could give away a fumble or an interception and still come out on top of this game. But for the Patriots, they gotta take care of the ball, right? More importantly, though, for New England, they have to have explosive plays, especially against the number one defense in the league. With those explosive plays, you also have to have Drake May and his scrambling ability. Get out there, make a couple plays, keep the momentum going, keep the offense on the field by extending the plays and
Yeah,
getting out there. And they got to utilize the running backs for
yeah,
New England. Now they've had a little bit of offensive line protection, especially at right guard. So that could be a situation that's going to harm them. But when you on the offensive side for Seattle, yeah, that that defense is going to get you the ball in some good positions. So you got to take advantage of the opportunities. You have to score touchdowns, right? Especially when you're in the red zone, you have to score touchdowns. And like I said, if Sam Darnold gives up an interception, I still feel like they can overcome that because they have Jackson Smith and Jigba. Kenneth Walker is killing them. So I my the way I see it going is Seattle's going to come out on top, but that defense is going to be the key to keeping the offense in a advantageous position to score points. That
mhm,
being said, I don't have it being a high scoring game, but again, you gotta you have to be able to contain Drake May. You might even need to throw a spy on him, and Seattle will be playing zone. So again,
mhm,
they could have a spy on him just to kind of contain him and keep him from extending plays and
mhm.
scrambling and getting yards with his legs. So that's kind of where I'm looking at it. but the major success is going to come for Seattle if they can get those early downs, get, on first and second down, get a bunch of yards, get themselves in the easy third down situations, and continue to drive the ball down the field and like I said, score when they're in the red zone, score touchdowns. What are your thoughts?
Awesome. Yeah, man, I agree with a lot of what you said. When you have two teams who are evenly matched, it usually comes down to turnovers, right?
Hmm.
Um, New England, I'm sorry, Seattle, as we talked about in the NFC Championship game, is the number one rated defense in the league. Well, I'm sorry, New England is the number four rated defense in the league. So not quite as good, but not far behind, right? And
Right,
then Seattle is the number three scoring offense in the league. New England is the number two scoring offense in the league, right? So these teams are they're both good on both sides of the ball, right? So I don't see an advantage for either unit over the other. So it's going to come down to, like you said, who protects the ball, um, and doesn't turn over. It's interesting the point you made about Seattle turning the ball or being able to withstand turnovers. Seattle was the number two team in the league in turning the ball over. Only Minnesota turned the ball over more than Seattle. Yet, as you said, they're still the number one scoring defense in the league. So those turnovers, they didn't allow those turnovers to turn into points, right?
right,
They hurt them with field position, but not points. New England is a team that turns the ball over also. Sam Darnold has been turnover prone until these playoffs, right?
right,
Uh, Sam Darnold is the only quarterback in NFL history to win 14 games in back-to-back seasons. Nobody's ever done that. None of those great names we were talking about earlier has ever done that. So the guy's not a bum, right? The guy can play. He can play the game. Uh, if he goes out and doesn't turn the ball over with their defense, I think it'll be hard on New England. Um, Drake May quietly has a shoulder issue people aren't
right.
talking about. But as you said, though, I think he'll be more effective with his feet anyway, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Extending drives by getting those first downs or just by advancing yardage to put them in favorable third down situations. Seattle just tackles so well, man. They're just so good fundamentally on defense. Um, they just never let you get away. Those checkdowns, those 2 yard checkdowns that other teams turn into 6 and 7 yard plays. No, those are 2 yard plays against Seattle.
Right,
They
right.
stop you at the point, right? So yeah, I see this being a tough game, man. I really believe it'll come down to coaching.
Okay.
It's the only place I see where one has an advantage over the other, and it's only inexperience, right? Mike McDonald has done an excellent job. Mike McDonald is an excellent coach, right? You see it in his team, right? Uh, but I think Mike Vrabel has been there as a player. I think he will know how to get his team prepared. I think some of that New England, I've got something up my sleeve that we haven't done all year that we're going to break out today. I have a feeling that they're going to come up with something like that that will give them just enough of an advantage for them to
Okay.
come out on top in this game. So as I see it, and I have done this all year long. I have talked glowingly about Seattle and then picked the other team.
Sounds like
Because
you
I
haven't
really
learned.
like where they're going and what they're doing, but I see New England 21, Seattle 17.
Okay. So I have it Seattle 20, Patriots 17.
Okay, okay. And I think it's going to be right there, man. It's going to
Yeah.
come down to, as you said, um, will will Drake may be able to protect the football enough to give their defense a chance to make a play for them to win.
Right.
And then Seattle is so good on special teams also. If they come up with a special teams play, it could make a difference in the game, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I think it's going to come down to that. Like you said, there's going to be some explosives in this game. We're going to see some explosive plays, and it's the team that wins the turnover battle that I think will win this game. If if, as you said, yeah, if New England loses the turnover battle, I think it'll be hard for them to win the game. As
Right.
you said, Seattle could lose the turnover battle and still win this game. They just have all year. But I just have a feeling New England's gonna do something to pull this game out of it.
So you so you haven't learned anything.
Nothing, man. You know what?
And
I almost go ahead.
you're treating Seattle the way I treat Green Bay.
I, I agree. I agree. I just have to take the L on that, right? But I really came close to picking Seattle, but I thought, man, if I pick Seattle and they lose, then man, I'll feel like I jinxed them, right?
Like I can't change course now.
Right? Yeah. Well, why change now, right?
They're only the number
But you're
one
right.
defense
I
in the league.
definitely said it again.
So they're only the number one defense in the league.
Yeah, I was gonna say in a lot of ways, I do feel like I'm just beating my head against the wall, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They just continue to get it done, and yeah, I am a big fan of what Mike McDonald
But
does.
I agree with you. I could see the Patriots pulling out some type of trick play or fake punt or something unusual for
Yeah,
them,
yeah. So
right?
yeah, a tackle eligible. I could see Mike Vrabel getting a defensive player a touchdown.
Right. Exactly.
So
Yep.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see it, man. See how it plays out, man. I'm looking forward to it. Well,
Yeah.
that's all we've got for this week, man. You got anything to close us out with, my man?
Well, where are you watching the game at?
Out at home.
At home? Yeah, I'll be at home too. One of our kids has a birthday, so we're gonna do a little birthday celebration and watch the game here at the house. So we'll have some of the kids at the house and too, because that's they all come in from East Lansing and hang out. So
Nice,
that's what we're
nice.
gonna be doing.
Yeah, but yeah, see, I like that. I like that you have family around. When
Yeah.
my son was home, we would have a Super Bowl party with just he and I, like, right? And we would
Hmm.
just make homemade stuff, right? Hey, let's make
Yep.
chili dogs. Let's make burgers and fries, right? We just
Yep. Yep.
let's fry up chicken wings. We just fry up stuff ourselves. Have our own little pregame party and eat during the game. So that's cool, cool. Yeah, I like to watch the game at home, man, because I like to actually watch the game, right?
Right.
Going to parties a lot of times, there's distractions and you're not really watching the game. It was cool in the early years. I should say, I'm going to say for me, as I was a young adult during the mid 80s, from mid to late 80s, because a lot of those games weren't very good anyway. So
Right.
when the Bears, I mentioned that Bears Patriots game, as the Bears are crushing the Patriots, it's like, yeah, who's going to stay tuned to that anyway? So yeah, it's cool to have some people to mingle with, and have some fun with, right?
Yeah, I remember going to there were several Super Bowls where I go to a friend's house and he had a little Super Bowl party and low key Ponderosa had the most chicken wings. So he would get like he'd
Nice,
get the big container, throw them in
nice.
the oven,
I
keep them
remember them
warm.
joints.
Yeah, right. Ponderosa wings were
Yeah,
fire.
hard to roast
So
some wings or on
those are some
point.
good memories, man.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't do that today. I
Right,
just
exactly,
I just
right,
watch from home.
right. But
Yeah,
yeah, we didn't at all this season, man. But next season, we're gonna have to gather and watch a game together someplace, man.
that's right.
I know a couple of sports spots not too far from the office that we can post up at. But yeah, we got to get together and watch a game.
Yeah, as we're talking about it, we actually moved locations,
Yeah,
and that location that we're at now has that fantastic kitchen and it has the courtyard. So we can do something in the new office.
You know what? Yeah, now yeah, you got me thinking now. Okay, okay, that would really be convenient too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah. Okay, yeah, let's kick that around.
Yep. Yep. All right, sir.
All right, my man, you want to close us out?
Hey, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us all season long. We love talking football. This little trip down memory lane was special for me. I enjoy talking about and hating on Tom Brady. But hey, when we're not talking football, we're doing real estate. If you have questions about your next move, don't fumble the ball. Contact us for our winning game plan in real estate. Fellas, share the pie with your buddies. Ladies, share it with your crew. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop us that 5-star rating.
Brady is the GOAT, and we will see you next time.
Yes, sir.